Welcome to Books and Bush Tea. We're going to talk today about plays, how to enjoy the reading of plays, what is different about reading plays from reading any other type of reading, and also plays and performance. So how do you perform a play and what is it like? What's the difference between a play and a movie? All of this we're going to cover today with Caroline Allenger of the Drama Society. Welcome to Books and Bush Tea, where we get into the Cayman reader's mind. And today I'm so excited. I have Miss Caroline Allenger. I always get told off because I call her all sorts of versions of Caroline. We had that conversation, right?
We've had that conversation.
I was like, but I have so many Carols in my life. But so Caroline's joining us to talk about a special kind of reading, and one that I think a lot of people don't even connect because it's so tied to performance, right?
Yeah.
And it's the reading of plays, right?
Yes.
But first of all, tell us a little bit about you and your reading life.
Well, right now, I've always got a few books on the go, always. There's always at least one in my bag, one in my car, one beside the bed, one in the bathroom. You know, most readers are that way.
And the bathroom reads are pretty specific.
Yes. And they have to be quick, which is why plays are really good, because you can dip in and out of a play, right? But that's not what I have in the bathroom right now. But my reading life right now is all over the place.
Yeah.
I've got a self-help book on the go.
Yeah.
We all do.
Yeah.
I've always have a fantasy or something mythological on the go. So right now I'm reading Lore, which is great. Have you read it?
Is that the one that was built off of the podcast with all of these?
The 9 gods come to Earth. They've been relegated to Earth, and they no longer have special powers, but they follow bloodlines. And it's very Game of Thrones-ish in the way that it's written.
Yeah.
But it's about gods.
Okay.
And Greek gods.
Well,
It's
we need to talk about that offline, because
Love
that's where we connect a lot. Like
Yes.
our jam is fantasy and mythology and folklore.
Folklore is
but also
my
plays.
thing. Yeah, plays.
Yeah,
so
but-
I have
but
a play on
let's
the go.
get your
right-
let's
so
get
of
your
course
your
I
reading
have a
life
play on
covered.
the go right now. Actually, I have 2 on the go. I have one
What
in
are
the
they?
kitchen. The kitchen one is Hades Town, because I'm going more Greek mythology.
Of course.
There's a theme going on here.
Yeah.
But I'm going to see Hades Town at the end of the year. I've wanted to see it for years, and I found out that my Hades is leaving. I mean, he's 80-something years old, and the
Who is
Hades
he?
is being replaced by, I'll show you later.
Okay.
And so I'm seeing that in London, and it's great. I love a musical. And so the play is written in musical format. It's beautiful, it's fantastic, and Hades Town takes place in the French Quarter in New Orleans, but post-apocalyptic.
Oh.
It's so amazing, and it's all jazz and Dixie and
also probably like Southern
my
Gothic
God, it
darkness.
is so good. It is so good.
Are
I
there
can't wait.
vampires?
They look like vampires, but they're not. It's very steampunk, the way they've dressed them.
Okay,
It's so
good.
cool.
Okay.
And I'm reading Loot, and the reason I'm reading that, I had it on my bookshelf and I didn't realize, and I just watched my boyfriend Michael Sheen in
One of her boyfriends, Michael Sheen.
as Kenneth Williams, who was a TV star, like in the Carry On films and things like that. He played him in a TV show that I just watched, and the name Joel Orton kept coming up, and I was like, why do I know that name? Why do I know that name? So I went through the bookshelf, and I have the play Loot.
Oh,
so I
you do?
started reading it. It's so strange.
Is it?
It is. It's a 1960s. It takes place in the 1960s because it was written in 67, and it was actually not even shown until after he died.
Oof.
But it's. So I've only read 15 pages so far, and it's super, super odd. It is a dark farce. It's very dark and very farcical, and I didn't feel like they would go together
With a name
well.
like Loot?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
This sounds like
there's
something I need to read to understand. Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
lend that to you after. It's very.
Yeah.
I keep stopping in wanted to read bits out to Shane. I'm like, listen to this. This is so weird.
Yeah.
But it's great. So I'm reading that, and I've always got a fantasy book on the go, aside from lore. So in the other bathroom, I have...
This is a question I was going to have for you. Like, what's your vibe? Everywhere.
Everything. Literally everything. Because
so what's in the other bathroom?
So in the other bathroom, so Laura's there. Oh, the backstory for Ursula.
Oh.
Yeah.
As in,
I love
which Ursula?
Ursula Under the Sea.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
like
love
the Little Mermaid
a
Ursula.
Disney
Oh,
backstory.
that would be so fun.
Yeah,
That
I
would
will
be
never
so
grow
fun.
up. And
I'm actually in a fantasy right now called Light Lark. It was recommended to me by Sydney at Next Chapter.
Yeah.
I didn't know this until very recently, but she and I read very similarly because I don't really like... I like high fantasy, but I only need so much of it.
Yeah.
So I like the cozy stuff.
Yeah.
Right? And so Discovery of Witches is my favorite series of all time.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I
And
have the Book
Lightmark's
of Life, which is the
good.
one that comes after.
Yeah. I have
So when
all
you
of
finish
them.
that,
No, there's a new one. The Blackbird
Oh.
Oracle.
Oh.
That is the best. The best. I have listened to A Discovery of Witches probably 3 or 4 times a year since it came out.
For me, The Witching Hour. It is my all-time favorite book.
I haven't read that one, but it's on my list. It's on my TBR. By the way, for those of you who are not like into the books thing, the TBR pile, the to be read pile,
Yes.
it's haunting.
Yeah, so much. And forever.
And I keep adding
forever
to it.
in place.
Yeah.
Shane used to laugh and lie, by the way, that our bed was held up by books.
I mean, it would work for me. I'm not sure how feng shui that is, but okay. So we've got your current reading.
Yeah.
What got you into reading as a kid?
My dad, well, both of my parents really.
I just noticed. I assume she read as a child.
Yeah,
as
of course
you can
I
tell.
did.
So yeah.
Both of my parents are really avid readers. Birthdays, Father's Days, Mother's Days, none of those things pass without somebody getting a book.
Yeah.
And it's been like that my entire life.
Yeah.
And I learned to read by my dad coming home and reading the newspaper to me. You know, this good parenting right there.
Not today's newspapers.
Well, maybe not.
But I hear you.
Killing
I hear
two
you.
birds with one stone, right? Oh, that's a terrible analogy. But anyway, he would read the newspaper. Obviously, he was going to read the newspaper for himself when he got home, but he would just read it out loud to me while I was sitting on his lap.
Yeah.
So I have read forever, but I can't even remember what book it was, but I speak Welsh, and I went to Welsh-speaking schools. My parents don't speak Welsh.
Oh.
So we learned, my sister and I both learned to
horrible
read
for them.
in Welsh. I mean, it's even worse for them when we would force my dad would read us a bedtime story. We each had our own room, and he'd read my sister's story first, and then he'd read a story to me. And we were horrible children because we would make him read Welsh books to us, Welsh children's books, but ones specifically that had lots of because he could never say them.
Which is a multiple L's, right?
Yeah, multiple L and CH. And it was just, I think it wasn't even the stories that he was reading. It was just us laughing at my dad struggling through these books. But he did. He's great.
So funny.
But that's where it came from, right?
Yeah.
My parents reading to us. It's so funny because my sister is not a great reader. She reads, but she's not a big reader.
Prolific,
we were definitely a reading family.
I feel like that's something that's a theme that we're going to see go throughout this whole show, is that a lot of us who are readers today were read to.
Yeah.
And I'm noticing, like my brother is going to probably join me on one of these shows soon, and we're going to talk about our reading life as children, which was so funny, hilarious. And then we'll talk about, at some point in time, we're going to talk about how do you get kids to read. You don't get kids to read, you read to kids.
Yeah,
right? You don't. There's no intention to get kids to read. They will naturally want to read if the experience is cuddling and going through a story together. And it's so funny, my niece is so annoyed with her school right now because why do they want us to read about real life stuff? I want to read about dragons.
Oh,
right?
I mean, yeah.
So
I mean, as a child, you do.
Dragons.
Fairies and dragons is what it's all about.
And so she gets her dragon reading with her auntie. She's reading Harry Potter with her daddy. And then she's reading all this boring stuff at school. And she's 8. So she has opinions.
What do they get to read at school?
I have no idea. I have no idea what it is. We haven't gotten that far because we need to get past the complaining first, and we haven't gotten to the end of that yet.
I feel very grateful that I grew up when I did, because my English, we had fantasy books as a child, or stories based in real life, but had some kind of, grew up in Wales, so obviously we had the mystical element, right?
Of course,
I mean, Merlin is our boy.
This is true. That's true.
We
He
had
is
all
Welsh.
of that. Yeah. So we had
There's
all
a
of
rumor that
stuff.
Merlin's father was a Roman soldier.
Oh, poor thing.
But he was Uther Pendragon's brother, his older brother, right?
Yeah. So that's the
That's the
one
myth of
part
it.
of the mythology. There's another part of the mythology that he wasn't. So yeah, I'll have to show you. Did you read The Crystal Cave? This is going to be a lot.
I
of,
did.
Did you read?
I did read The Crystal Cave. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I really love that book.
Yeah, she's great.
She's amazing. What's her Mary?
Diane Wynne Evans.
Is that the same?
I think it's Diane
Is this the
Evans.
same book? No, it is The Crystal Cave. I thought her name was Mary something.
Might be.
Never mind.
It was a long time ago when I read
It'll be in the show notes. We'll sort that out. We'll sort all that out later. But yeah, so I love that. The challenge with you and me is that we read all the same stuff. We even wearing the same bracelet today, which is hilarious. But we always end up kind of going down these deep holes of the mythical and the folklore. Caradwyn being your girl,
yes, ma'am.
Freya being mine.
Oh.
So there's this huge connection about the types of things we like to read.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. I hadn't really thought about talking to you about plays until we started to do this show. But I'm like, hold on a second. This woman performs plays.
Yeah,
So let's talk about plays. What made you fall in love with them?
So I have acted since probably birth, my parents would tell you.
Were you called dramatic too? Oh, that was such a buzzword
so
for me.
Dramatic. It grinds my gears when people call me dramatic.
You too?
But
it's not just me. It's almost like a trauma response that I have.
Yeah.
Like, don't you dare call me dramatic. I'm expressive.
Unless it's in the correct format. Yes, I am dramatic on the stage. Thank you.
I won't admit it still, but it's there.
Don't call me dramatic as an insult.
Yeah.
Call me dramatic as a compliment. Yes, I am. But
Sure,
yeah,
I think
so
that's it. That's exactly it.
so that you're right.
Yeah,
so
I can take that.
Plays kind of were, and it's a part of. Do you know anything about the Eisteddfod?
No.
So there's a bit of Welsh history for
Okay.
you. So we have an annual festival. We have two. One is one for children, which is called the Urdd Eisteddfod, and then another one for adults that is the Eisteddfod. And it is a celebration of performing arts, writing, specifically poetry, but also now plays. And it goes back, and the chair is called, you win a chair,
Okay.
and it's a wooden chair. And it's called Cadair y Bardd, right?
Okay.
And it is founded in Druidism. So they had these celebrations of poetry, Taliesin. You've heard of Taliesin. You would have if you've heard of Caradwyn. So yeah, Taliesin, he was the first bard. So he was the first poet, the first cantor, and he would go around. And it was oral tradition to speak plays or speak poetry going all around Wales. And that tradition continues to today, which is the Eisteddfod. So as children, we were given pieces to perform. So those really were our first plays. So I did my first one at 7, I think maybe, 6 or 7. But all children in Wales, South Wales, no, I would say North Wales more, but South Wales in Welsh-speaking schools, we would do these performances. So that would be my first play. We were always given plays to read, and we would perform, a bit like Gimme Story. The parallels between Gimme Story and the Eisteddfod is crazy.
And I can imagine
Like
the children's festival as well, right?
So the down swearing is quadrille. It's
Oh, wow.
literally quadrille. Like it's the same dances.
But I've always found that fascinating. I'm doing a paper right now on some of the traditions that were just absorbed into our culture, and there was no appropriation because there was no acknowledgement that anything was different. Like we just absorbed all of the cultures that came. No acknowledgement of appropriation anyway. I don't think that you could untangle Cayman
I don't think
culture
so.
and put it into different places with different origins. But you speak to this about the childhood plays, and the Cayman version of that would have been church plays.
Yeah.
Because we do church plays or school plays, but only in the. I don't remember doing school plays except at Christmas.
Oh, really?
But and church plays would have, and we didn't do them for the festival either. But the church plays would have been like and they weren't always Bible. Sometimes they were stories that were reflective of biblical ideas and so on. But then at St. Ignatius has a pantomime every year, and they also have a play.
So pantomime's very British,
isn't it? It's super British. And when I went to uni, I actually went to a panto in Sunderland. And it was like Sunderland. I drove from Durham down to Sunderland to see a panto, and it was such a kick because we were surrounded by screaming kids. And I don't think anyone else but I understood what we were getting into because we were all international students watching this play.
Oh my gosh, I never even thought of that.
It was so good.
Well, and you're going to be happy because we've got a pantomime coming up this year.
So fun. That is so fun. So one of the things that I also loved, and I'm glad you mentioned London because there's such a thriving play culture in London.
Oh my gosh, all over the UK. London is massive. This is true. But it is one of the things.
But it's like Broadway in New York. They have what's the name of the street again? Oh gosh,
West End.
The West End. That's right, because you come off Piccadilly and you kind of turn left.
So all Leicester Square. That's all that thriving theatre hub. But then you have you go further down, and the National Theatre is actually not in the West End, and the National Theatre is not the musicals. The musicals are all in the West End.
Yeah, they are.
But then the really solid plays are at like the Old Vic, the New Vic, and then in the National Theatre. So
what have you seen?
Oh my gosh!
In the West End. I've only been to one play in the West End.
Seriously, what did you see?
Les Mis.
Of course, everyone sees Les Mis. But you have to because of the history.
But more than that, one of my classmates from school, she was in the costume department. So I got a tour of backstage. I still have the playbill. It was such an experience because it's such a like it is the West End, It really is. Les Mis is the center.
It's like the
I love that. I can hear the music right now.
Mousetrap would be the godfather, and then Les Mis is kind of like the godchild. Like it is the perennial, right? Yeah.
And I wanted to see Chicago and New York, but I didn't. I saw Mary Poppins in New York. Yeah.
That must have been quite very recently then.
No, I saw Mary Poppins. That would have been 2013, 2014, no, 2012.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen tons.
Yeah.
I've seen Wicked a few times.
I want to see Wicked. I really want to see Wicked. I wanted to see Cats, but Cats left.
Yeah.
Broadway.
I saw Cats, Starlight Express.
But now I'd like to travel to see plays. Like that. It wasn't a priority at the time. I was a student. I was doing all these other things. So it's now like time to like really enjoy plays.
Yes,
plays and hiking.
Absolutely. So this year I'm going to see Hadestown finally.
Yeah.
I can't wait. And I'm going to see Born with Teeth. It's Ncuti Gatwa, the last Doctor, the one that's just gone from Doctor Who.
Oh.
He is fab. I can't wait. And
what a name
going to see my
for
boyfriend. Oh, it's so cool. So it's Shakespeare and Thomas Marlowe, I think. It's just a two-hander. Christopher Marlowe. So it's the two of them.
Okay.
And Ncuti Gatwa plays Shakespeare.
Yeah, because they hated each other, didn't they? But they used to drink at the same pub.
So it's their story. Yeah. I can't wait. It's going to be so good.
I love Christopher Marlowe in Discovery of Witches.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. I hated him so much. Yeah. He was like the person that you wanted to hate.
But
it makes sense because he, Faust, yeah, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
And I'm also going to see my boyfriend, Michael Sheen.
So this is the boyfriend today.
He is honestly. We went to the same drama school.
Like you did?
Well, not the same drama school. We went to the same drama club. Mm-hmm. So lots of actors have come out of this little club in South Wales. Like, I don't know if it's the smokestacks in Port Albert. What happens to us when we're around those smokestacks? Yeah. But like that little community has produced so many amazing actors. Michael Sheen being one of them, Richard Barton. There's much older actors who left in the 1920s and 30s when nobody was leaving Wales in the 1920s and 30s. They were going to the mines, but went to Hollywood and became actors, and it's
phenomenal.
Insane. Like even Michael Sheen's dad, he's just passed away. He was.
I love that you know this man's life story.
Because we grew up in the same place.
Yeah, of course.
And he's the same age as me, and we went to the same drama school.
He's like your local fella.
So local, and he is. But I also knew his dad. His dad was, both of his parents play other people, but his dad was a Jack Nicholson lookalike, and he would act as Jack Nicholson in local productions.
Fun.
It's great.
That is super fun.
Yeah,
man.
He was fab. He was the nicest man you could hope to meet. And his best friend was a Sean Connery lookalike.
Oh, that's great.
I loved it.
That is great.
Lovely. But yeah, acting is in our
It's in your culture.
Yeah.
It's in the blood.
So plays are just, and school plays. I was going to ask you, what school you went to St. Ignatius?
So I went through the public school, and so we didn't really do plays. We did Christmas plays.
That's crazy because we did plays when I was there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but I also didn't choose drama at the high school level, right? So we would have done only as full classes in primary school. We'd have done plays. I don't remember doing anything in George Hicks in the middle school because we had a middle school then.
Right.
But I do remember Nasaria Saku was our teacher, and she did amazing work in the drama class. Yeah. She was very, very good. And I remember there was an assistant teacher, Beth Henning.
Oh my gosh, I completely forgot about Beth.
She's excellent. She was really good. That combo of teachers was really, really good. And I feel like there's a whole generation of Caymanians that came out of them. So for instance, Grace Geely would have been taught by them.
Yeah, for sure.
So Grace was a couple of years behind me, and so there's a love of the drama that I think is part of who we are. Like I actually sat with Captain Paul Hurlston the other day. Yeah. You know, Captain Paul's in his 90s. Captain Paul can recite to me things that he learned in primary school, like poems. My grandmother was the same, like. And, you know, we've always been a literary people, you know, in some way or another. Yeah. Now, plays, they used to do plays in Bodden Town in the church hall. Oh, really? My mom will tell you about stories about plays. And there's stories that come out of it, too. Like, so I wrote a poem about piano. Remember the one who the piano fell off the back of his truck? Yeah. He was moving a piano to the church hall to be able to do a play. Right?
Yeah, that makes
sense. The Eastern Districts would all gather around and do this play, either in Bodden Town or in East End, and they talk about, you know, taking the bus, or when there finally was a bus. Or the truck, right, to go up and do these plays. And so they were always around the church. But I'd love to kind of like touch base with you on like the difference between reading plays. Because there's something different about reading plays. And I haven't really collected as many as I used to, right? Because my grandpa had the complete works of Shakespeare. Right. That was my toilet reading.
Oh my gosh.
I can get, and it's an old book. Like this is like 1930s printing type stuff, right? So I don't know how it ended up in my hands as a teenager. But I had read most of Shakespeare's plays because when we started to read plays in school, which we did do, we didn't act them, but we would read plays in school. I remember we did literature. We did Richard III, we did Macbeth, and
so you were already knew those stories because you'd read them in the bathroom.
Yes, and then but then I also got very interested. No, I think the first one I actually read Macbeth before I picked up the one at home, but that's what drove me to pick up the one at home because all of it was there. So I read all of Shakespeare's plays before I went to college.
Love that.
Right? But the language was so inaccessible to so many people. But when I started to read it out loud, I realized just how naughty he was. Like he was such a...
Oh my gosh. There's lots of double entendres or like references to people's body parts. And
and he would make fun of people's appearances. He was hilarious, actually, when you really think about it. But then, of course, you talked about him and Chaucer having this relationship, and I could just imagine. I would love to have seen those men just go to war.
Can you?
Yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah. Because one was very political, and the other one was very talented.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a thought. A controversial one. But
there is a difference between reading plays and just reading novels, right? Because I think when you're reading a book, the author gives you all of the information. They create a picture for you, right? They'll describe the people, they'll describe their actions,
and their thoughts.
Yeah, but when you're reading a play, all you have is dialogue and stage directions. So that forces you to use your imagination. I feel sorry for the people who can't do pictures in their head, right? Because I know lots of actors have that where they can't see pictures in their head, and that must make it so much more difficult for them. I feel like maybe, they're very talented, so maybe not so much, but when you're reading a play, you have to hear the voices, a little bit of madness going on there, but you have to hear the voices, you have to imagine what it would look like, because you're not being given all of that information. So when you're reading a play, that is all you. It is all you.
It's interpretation, like you're interpreting there's a lot of space between the words.
Yeah,
right?
So it's not the playwright's version.
It becomes yours.
It becomes yours, because you can give a play to, I don't know, 10 different directors, and they will stage it completely differently from each other.
It reminds me, there's a video going around about to be or not to be. That is the question. It was it the BAFTAs? It was a British award ceremony, and each actor came out and put a different emphasis on the different words.
Yeah, that's an old one.
It's an old one, right?
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah.
To be or not to be, and that is a question. To be or not to be, that is a question.
Yeah.
To be or not to be, that is the question. So there's so many ways you get to interpret it, right? I loved that. Yeah. It was such a good demonstration of what plays actually allow.
Yes, because...
But it's so... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, because then if you're directing a play as well, what you have in your head might not necessarily be what the actor has in their head and how they interpret the lines.
And that's where conflict comes
right?
from. Yeah. Unless you just let the actors actually be
sometimes
the talent,
that's
right?
the best way to do, right?
Yeah,
because sometimes an actor will portray something completely differently than you've imagined it, but when you see it, then you'll go, oh, I hadn't thought of it that way.
I have a thought on that and the way that you describe it, because I love what you just brought out, which is that you have to interpret yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place for us to take a pause.
Okay.
Because I want to come back to that and just reading in general.
Right.
And the circle of reading.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, we talked about how plays allow for the actor to own it, right?
Yes.
You have to, there's so much space between the writing and plays that it requires so much interpretation. Yeah. So you get to choose what to emphasize, you get to choose how you sound, you get to choose what tone you bring to it. And what I love about that is that it points out how much of communication is not words.
Yes.
Right? So it's a beautiful part. So what you're bringing to the communication is like 80% of it.
Yeah.
Whereas the words are just like the framework. It's almost like the skeleton that you're building
That's right.
stuff around, right?
Yeah.
So this reminds me of a conversation I had with my ex, funny enough.
Right.
He is a really big movie buff, my ex-husband.
Yeah.
And he loves shows, he loves movies. He's a consumer of art in that way, and it's his preferred way. And he and I had a really interesting conversation. He also has, what do you call that thing again? Where you see numbers, when you hear a number and you see a color? Synesthesia. Right? So he's very visual in general. Yeah. And there are people that are like that. Yeah. And he and I had this conversation about an audiobook, because I would go to sleep to an audiobook at night, and he would go to sleep watching something. Right?
I can do either.
I can't do the watching business, right? So I'd put on my headset and turn over and listen to my book. This is might be TMI, but you know what? Y'all are fine. You all are fine. But he was lovely about it, right? And one of the things that came up was that he could not understand the audiobook because it was too much work for him to create the image in his head.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
So it's so funny because I almost see this now, the way you're describing the difference between a play and a book.
Reading.
And reading is that the play requires you to do much more work
Yes.
because you then have to express all of it, like all of the expression, every form of interpretation of just the words. And then, apart from the instructions, obviously, because there are show notes and so on. But then there is the, that was not the technical term. Stage direction. Thank you. But then there was the, then there's the other side of the pendulum, which is what the play becomes, right?
Right.
So then when it is acted out, everything is delivered.
Yes.
To the audience.
So then
the audience receives everything.
It's like watching a movie then. Not really though, because movies are a different thing altogether.
True.
Right?
True. So let's talk about that.
So with movies,
yeah.
So when I was in drama school, they kind of described it to new people as this. So movies are here. Yeah. Whereas plays are here. Right? So your movements and your actions and your facial expressions and your delivery is big. Yeah. And in movies it's small. Yeah. Right? Because this is what I was saying earlier when we were setting up, is that like when you're doing a movie, you're often very, very close to each other, even though though you're not, when you're looking at it on screen, you don't look too close to each other. And you'll see it a lot in like soap operas and stuff like that, where people are almost touching noses to deliver something very quiet. And you can't do that in plays.
It's also the facial expression, right? So there's a subtlety to the movie that is captured in the screen, whereas on the play you have to deliver. Like you have to. It's almost like you have to project expression. Yeah, right? And
with plays as well, you're watching the entire stage. Whereas in movies, you are being directed to watch this little bit. So movies are more like not books in that sense that it's being given to you. You still have to work harder in a play because you can watch the whole thing. You can watch the entire.
That's so true,
right?
Like the image that you're giving, like particularly in musicals, where there are multiple things going on, and there's so much acting. Everyone on the stage is acting, and you've got 30 people on the stage, and they're dancing as well as acting, and there's so much expression. So I hear you, like that's a really powerful contrast, right? Yeah. But I'm almost beginning to see it now as a circle, but throwing the movie in kind of throws me off a little bit. So let me work my way back.
Maybe it's a Venn diagram then.
maybe it is. But I have it that the book delivers more than the written play.
Yes.
Then the movie delivers a pointed version, a more narrowed view of the book.
Yes.
But it's delivered, right?
It is
and it's
delivered.
not all verbal.
So it's going to be bigger than the play in a lot of cases.
Smaller than the book because
yes.
Well, not really because it's non-verbal.
But it's still because if you take the Harry Potter movies, right? Or Wicked even, because I'm reading Wicked again. And in preparation.
Oh, did we hear that?
I don't know, but
that's my next question. So go on for it.
November, the next bit is coming out, right?
Oh, that's awesome.
So when the book will give you.
Like you were gonna deliver it. Oh, you would act it. It would be amazing if we did something like that locally.
But we can't because you wouldn't be able to get the rights for it right now because of the movies, right?
Fair enough.
So when you're reading the Harry Potter books, they have to leave lots of it out of the movies because otherwise it'll be a 10-hour long
20
movie.
Like
right?
one book becomes a show.
Yeah.
Which is what they had to do. Which is what they had to do when you really think about it.
I'm very excited about that, right? Even though I don't want to give her any more money. I'm going to. But yeah, so that
you gotta give her money for what she's good at. You know, that's where I'm at.
Let's leave the politics.
Let's leave her
politics outside. But yeah, that's just it, right? So when you're reading, your imagination is exploding, right? but you're being fed all of the information. And with a play, you're still reading it, but your imagination is what is creating the visual in your head, if you have that
that's
ability.
why I love prose, especially purple prose.
Purple prose?
Purple prose is very poetic prose, right? So Circe, the book Circe.
Yes.
That's a perfect example of, and Madeline, she does amazing work. Madeline Miller, I think her name is.
Can't remember.
Amazing purple prose. So there's a lot of space left in purple prose for the magical and the interpretive. It's very poetic, but I don't remember where I was going with this. But you know what? We'll be fine. We have so much to talk about anyway. But you know, there's so many. Oh, that's where I was going. There's like a range, even in prose, of the space that people leave. There's certain writers, and there's certain male writers in particular, that are very sparse with their words. So for instance, Hemingway, I found him very sparse. Yes. He doesn't describe scene, he doesn't describe texture, right? He doesn't describe what a woman really wants, like, which is a sensual and tactile pieces, right? Whereas if you get into someone like Pat Conroy, everything. Every single dot on every flower
every
is covered.
grain of sand.
He's my favorite when it comes to descriptive writing. Like, I would love to be able to write like him. Even though he's Southern Gothic, I feel like he informs me as a purple prose writer.
Oh,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Love Pat Conroy. I wish I'd met him, and I remember seeing the day that he passed away. I was like, well, that's one dream gone.
Oh, for me, it was
such
Terry
a
Pratchett.
powerful Terry Pratchett. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Neil Gaiman does some good stuff too. But yeah,
I mean, and they were friends.
Yeah, fair enough.
Ish.
We're back in fantasy land. But back to plays.
Also back to Michael Sheen.
And Michael Sheen. This
I can bring it around.
This is your
to Michael
boyfriend
Sheen.
for real. I'm telling Shane. In fact, you're telling on yourself. Of course he does. Of course he does. So let's talk about the play scene on Island.
Yeah. It could be better. It definitely could be better. But this is coming from someone who would go to a play every week if I could, right?
Yeah.
It could be better, but it is.
What is here? You know, for those who don't know.
So we have the Hawkwill Theatre,
which is run by the Cayman National Cultural Foundation.
Yes. Yeah. And then Cayman Drama Society, which is the one that's in Prospect and Red Bay. Yep. But now we've got all of the children's. I'm going to call them production committees. They're not really, but companies, sorry. But there's Musicians Inc. is one of them.
And Spark.
And Spark. And then some of the dance companies do shows that are also dramatic in the way that
Quintessential you started to mention, which is funny.
So, yeah, Quintessential was a surprise. Yeah. It was a surprise. They did a show storytelling through, again, it's through dance, right? It's Paul and Ariel, and it was
which is
really
not quite plays.
No,
but it was the Disney villains.
It was, yeah, oh, so good. But it was like there was a story behind it, right? So they're telling a story. There was also there was acting within it. So it was interesting, and that was performed at the Hawkwill. Really, what I'd like to see is more Caribbean-based plays, but also more. I don't think it gets the credit it deserves. They recently had a show on at the Hawkwill called The Rose Slip. Now everyone will know that they'll go. It'll be sold out for What Happening. But then there are other plays, like there was Black and White a few years ago, and I can't remember if Dr. Frank had something to do with that.
Yeah, I think he did.
I think he produced it.
Is that not one that he wrote?
I don't think it's one that he wrote.
Because he's written a few that they've also done.
Yeah.
But we actually started one at I remember I was acting in one that then fell off. It didn't actually get out. We didn't finish it, and they ended up doing like a radio production instead. Can't remember the name of it, but it was a really good one.
Still love a radio play.
Me too, and this is one of the things I listened to on the BBC. Like you
love
had to find
BBC radio
BBC
play.
So good for it. But you know, this is what Caymanians would have received.
Yes,
growing up, they would have heard these plays, and even like in Jamaica as well, the Caribbean. There would have been like BBC productions of all of these plays.
Even when I moved here, I moved here in the mid-'80s, and we had Radio Cayman, and you know, after Hour of Prayer. Then there was a play.
Hour of Prayer. I remember. Yeah.
So they had plays then, and we didn't have a TV because it was mid-80s and we lived in Colliers.
Yeah.
And so we had books, and then we listened to the radio play, like in the summer holidays, after you'd come in from being out in the water.
Which is another question for you. Audiobook versus hard
Listen,
copy.
I am not a book snob. And
Cheers
I will
to
take
that,
it on.
darling.
Yes, girl.
A book is a book. Okay.
I am a very busy person, and I am constantly at work. So audiobooks are my savior, because I will listen to an audiobook while I'm driving in my car. Yes, I listen to a podcast as well, but I have a specific number of podcasts, and I will listen to a podcast to go to sleep. Right? I don't mind that.
I listen
But
to audiobooks to go to sleep.
I can't do an audiobook to go to sleep because I'll miss stuff and then I'll have to go back.
I reread audiobooks when I go to sleep. I have one that I've listened to 8 times this year.
I mean, I listened to Harry Potter and the Witching Hour.
The Chronicles of Between.
Oh, what's that?
I highly recommend. Highly recommend. One of the funniest books I have ever read in my life. It is fantasy, and it's kind of cozy. It's not really, but it's modern, and it has a lot of really good banter, and it has a really interesting kid who says crazy things.
You'll have to send that to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Between, the
definitely
Chronicles of
wanna do
Between.
that.
I'm surprised I didn't bring it with me today. I usually walk with that, like a copy of that with me. But the Chronicles of Between, one of the best books I've ever read. And of course, I'm constantly looking for something that makes me feel that way. Another really good one, and I'm going to probably do a whole show on that, is Poppy Show by Leonie Ross.
Poppy Show.
Poppy Show. It is surrealism. It's magical surrealism.
Love surrealism.
Based on the Caribbean. But you know, like some Caribbean writing can be really, really dark, or it can be like super like caught up in the historical grunginess.
Yeah.
None of that. None of it. It is so light and funny and interesting and feminist. But it also has like a mix of every island in it. There's like the Fatalik. There's like Obia women. There's a conflict between the church and the Obia women.
Love.
There's like, right? And then
I
there's
love
like,
it already.
Oh, it is so funny. But then something weird happens in the book that I'm not going to give that away. It's not for, it's for adults. But it's so funny. It's so funny. And the imagery of it, whenever I tell you, which I will tell you offline. Poppy Show by Leonie Ross.
Okay.
Plays, favorite plays.
Yeah.
Let's talk favorite plays and how to find you.
How do I have a favorite play? It's like saying, I was going to say this like saying,
Okay, give me your list.
how do you have a favorite book? But I do. My favorite book is The Witching Hour, hands down. Listen to it once a year. So, favorite plays. I love The Crucible. I was in The Crucible, and again, my sister is not a.
I'm afraid of it.
Why?
I don't know. I'm going to read it.
Listen, you should read it, or at least watch a production of it, not the movie, because don't watch the movie.
Too dark.
No, it's not that it's dark. It's that it is relevant to today. Weirdly, it is relevant to today.
It would be.
Why?
Wouldn't it?
Why is it?
How is it relevant to today?
So
let's just for the audience.
Yes.
Let's explain what The Crucible is.
So The Crucible is a story. It's Arthur Miller. And it takes place in Salem in 1692. 1692. So it was during the witch trials. It's what sparked like all the furore about the witch trials.
Yeah.
And
the murder of Bridget Bishop.
Yes, Goody Bishop. Do you know, I was looking at why everyone was called Goody, because I was like, why is everyone called Goody? Goody. All the women are called Goody because it felt very oppressive, which it was.
Yeah.
But it was because they led. So it's a shortened version of Good Wife, and that I don't need to say anymore.
No,
because
it's problematic.
This is
That's all
how
that is.
this was their whole personality.
Yeah.
If you were married, you were supposed to be a good wife. So the themes that run through it are the themes of mass hysteria, which
we're seeing today,
which we're seeing right now, brought on by a government and their oppression of women
through the church.
And how people can lie to make themselves always have a good reputation in society, or at least that's how they want to present themselves, when really they're just degenerate. And it is very much a comparison of what we're doing now.
It is. It's a dissonance, isn't it? Like, I think we're just seeing that human nature is a circle. Once again, it seems to be the theme of this particular episode. What are these circles? These circles I keep drawing, Venn diagrams. But the Crucible, I will read it.
Please.
I will.
Do, because you will see the parallels. I may still have a copy. Yeah.
I'll find it.
It was one of my favorite plays to.
But it's a book as well, isn't it?
It may have been turned into a book. I've never read it as a book.
I think it was originally a play, though. You're right.
Yeah. So, and he was doing a commentary on the time as well. Yeah. So it's
pretty effective
stuff. Then the early 50s.
Do you think anyone will do it now?
I would love
to adapt it to the present day.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
There you go. That's your play.
I'm still looking for Caribbean plays.
Okay, fair enough.
So, because I feel like we need to bring Caribbean plays to Cayman, because especially in the Cayman Drama Society. Oh, I was going to tell you about the Rose Slip. So, quintessential, widely attended.
Mm-hmm. The Rose Slip, not.
No. And it was really disappointing.
Do plays have a marketing gap? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Because I feel like I don't know when plays are happening, and I love a good play.
Yeah.
I love a good play. But there's something that is missing.
And I can't figure it out because so the Cayman Drama Society has a really good marketing department. The marketing department is just Kirsty. But she's good at it. She is very good at it, and so it's well attended. She makes sure that there's always posts going out, and we put posts all over social media. We put up posters. I recently did the Ancestors, and we put.
That was one you did.
Yeah,
I saw. But
I directed that one.
But then I wonder, right? Is it something that we've also done to things like opera? So, for instance, opera in the United States is seen as something attended by the elites.
Yes.
Whereas if you go to Serbia.
Yeah. Or Italy. Like everybody and their brother goes.
It is something for the masses.
Yeah.
It is not something that is it's almost as though being cultured has been for the elite in the New World.
Yeah, which
and
is
I wonder
mad, isn't it? Because it really wasn't in the.
It wasn't. That's not what it was designed to be.
It was a grassroots thing. It was for the people, by the people.
But even reading here is a very underground thing. Like, this is not something people don't get to get. Caymanian culture has not included people getting together to talk about books. People are reading.
Yeah.
There's always been a thriving bookstore in the Cayman Islands.
Yeah.
Like Hobbies and Books was one, at least in my lifetime, right? And I think in my mom's as well. Hobbies and Books, the Book Nook, Next Chapter. Then you also have the little quirky ones, right? Like the specialty ones, like the Adventist bookstore. There's a bookstore at Island Naturals and Bodywork. So there's always been a place for reading, right? Whereas I wonder if that is the gap.
Maybe. It might be a marketing thing. And this is what we're trying to change at CDS as well, right? Because traditionally, at least in the last 30 years, CDS has put on, aside from the Christmas show, which everybody comes to, right? That just runs the span of all of the generations and all of the nationalities in Cayman, which we're hoping that the pantomime will do at Christmas.
I'm sure it will.
And it's been traditionally 1930s to 1960s white plays. Yeah. Right? And
that may be the gap.
I think
we're
trying to
change.
Yes. we're trying to change that.
There we go.
Oh my gosh.
And we should. So Caroline, as we wrap up.
Yes.
We have a bit of we have some goals, right? We're closing the gap with the Caribbean Caribbean plays.
I'm looking
at
some
plays
right
out into
now.
the world. But also reading plays sounds like it's something that we need to probably be looking at doing more of.
I would definitely recommend it, because if you're a reader of novels, it's a whole different experience, and it is enjoyable in a whole different way, especially if you're an artist, right? If you are someone who enjoys arts
Of any
a
kind.
blanket,
Yep.
right? No
It's
matter what
expression.
it is.
It's an opportunity.
Then reading plays is a little bit different, and it kind of dips its toes into arts in a different way than just reading does.
Yeah.
So I would definitely recommend it. I will lend you all the plays I have.
I'm looking forward to it.
I am going to lend you Fleabag right away.
Please, because I've actually wanted to see that.
Oh my god.
Can we do like a Fleabag episode? Because I feel like that it's worthy.
Yes.
All right.
Let's do it.
Now we have a plan. And I'm so grateful that you've come.
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm always glad to talk to you in general. And we always bump into each other by accident. Now we've done this on purpose.
I know.
And we should be doing more of this.
We should.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all for today. Thank you.